Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and even though the tweet that I'm showing you right here is probably a bunch of bull, it still is important because it illustrates a point. He says it's official. Ripple wins against the SEC. XRP is not a security. You will see this in the news soon, but everyone in financial circles have already received the memo. Watch the volume closely. Well, it is interesting, the volume part of that is kind of interesting. But like I said, it could be total nothing. But the bigger point is that the case is in the judge's hands, is the way I understand it at this point. And at any minute, second, week, day, month, we're going to find out an answer. And so I have my Ripple equity that I got it linked to, who's one of my sponsors, and I have my XRP, and I've been continuing to load up on XRP. One of the only places you can get it is at another one of my sponsors besides linked to, which is Uphold. And for those of you that don't know, with an Uphold wallet, you can link it to your linked to wallet. You can literally buy Ripple private equity or Polyson private equity with your XRP or with Bitcoin or any of the other digital assets. It's really cool. So both of the links to these two sponsors are in the top of this description. You can click on them and tell them DAI sent you. Now, check this out. Look what Elon Musk said.
We do want to have Twitter enable both regular payments and fiat currency, and make it easier to transact with crypto.
You don't say. And then there was this that I recorded. This is on that Mario guy's, their Twitter live they did. Listen to him here.
See, Jack was a big Bitcoin Lightning guy. What can you comment on freedom to transact, Bitcoin, Lightning, Twitter, anything we can look forward to?
Well, I think that's actually more powerful even than I think controlling than censorship, which is control of the monetary system. If you have control of the monetary system and control of transactions, you can literally stop someone from you can starve people to death. You can throw them out of their homes. So we have to be very careful about who's controlling the money system here, and what rules and regulations are they going to put on transactions. It seems like PayPal has strayed pretty far from the path of that.
I've been banned from PayPal.
Seems to be moving in the direction of social credit and restricting transactions. So that's concerning.
I'm not going to play any more of that, but he had a whole discussion there, and he also addressed CBDCs. Now, check this out. This was out today. Twitter coin hints unveiled by Tech Sleuth. And this is what was in the article. Code extracted from Twitter's web app shows potential new Twitter coin and integration for crypto in Twitter's tipping feature, according to researcher Jane Mansion Wong. Well, folks, there's already been, they're talking about a tipping feature. Some of you may not have been around, but there was an XRP tip bot on Twitter when there was nothing else on there where you could tip. And this was 2 or 3 years ago. And ever since that, I think we'd say Win created it and he went off to work on something else. But ever since this thing disappeared, I always wondered if maybe it was a test. The XRP tip bot. And it worked too, folks. There's no reason under the sun why it wouldn't be on there to this day, other than maybe we'd say Win had to run it and he didn't have time to. Check this out. Liquidity, tokenized debt, derivatives, CBDCs, data stocks, and more cannot be facilitated absent of the DLT environment. Next, ask yourself which technologies and settlement mechanisms are capable of doing this. Which DLT is actually derivatives platform? I don't know what DASL is, but XRPL solo. Then he's tweeting out a screenshot from, I guess, his Facebook page. It's funny when there's fear behind the banks allegedly developing a solution to facilitate instant cross-border payments without crypto. Well, let's see how they facilitate that utility once everything of value is tokenized. Where do you think it's going to have to be disseminated through? Oh, that's right. Let me guess. Tokenized derivatives and other commodities can flow outside of DLT for settlement. Even though the SEC voted unanimously earlier this year that they need to be instantly settled through a blockchain DLT-based environment, let's not also forget the liquidity aspect of this, folks. Don't lose sight. This close to the finish line. I believe we're close to the finish line too. You know what he's describing here to me? All the money, folks. This is the, somebody made me aware today. We've shown this is from the visualcapitalist.com. All of the world's money and markets in one visualization. Well, they updated this as of 7 days ago. We've shown it before, but this is updated. It shows Sam Bankman-Fried's peak net worth, $26 billion in March, today $1 billion. Sports team, the combined value of North America's professional sports teams is $340 billion. Cryptocurrency was $2.82 trillion, now it's $760 billion. Russia versus Ukraine GDP, and then it goes on military spending, currency. The world's gold is valued at $11.5 trillion. The world's billionaires, $12.7 trillion. Central bank balance sheets, $28 trillion. Let's get down to something interesting. U.S. versus China. U.S. is $23 trillion. China is $17.7 trillion. Global money supply, $48.9 trillion. Let's go down. All the global stock markets. Where's the number? I don't see it. Total global debt, $300 trillion. And then as you go down, global real estate, $326 trillion. Let's see if there's any more interesting ones down here. Wow. Okay, so that anyway, that kind of gives you an idea of all the money sloshing around. Okay, breaking news: BIS is warning that pension funds and other non-bank financial firms now have more than 80 trillion of hidden off-balance sheet dollar debt in the form of FX swaps. 80 trillion. You are reading this right. Then I went back. This is the guy who was the co-CEO of Alameda with that Caroline Ellison girl, but he quit in the months, I think the months leading up to everything falling apart. Listen to what he said. He said this on the 8th of September, 2022.
Our models for various coins have betas to each other, especially to Bitcoin, and maybe something some big thing happened. Maybe there's news in XRP, the SEC stuff from winter of 2020 or whatever that was. Yep. That might immediately tell me, I expect the Bitcoin beta to change substantially over the next few hours. And being able to interact with our models in a fast way to tell them about that can be a pretty big determiner of profit.
Mm-hmm. So you have a 0.5 beta to Bitcoin with XRP, and you see this news, and it's going to move way more than that. You shift that quickly in the model.
You see news that they're about to drop a lawsuit on Ripple. Well, these same people were having meetings with the SEC. Did they see news, or did they know something ahead of time? That's my question.
Yeah, exactly.
If they're having planning sessions with the SEC, now maybe they weren't having planning sessions on those dates. Maybe at that time they weren't, but I don't know that.
There are ways to automate some of this, and our models keep getting better and better, or have kept getting better and better at understand, being able to having quick ways of interacting with them, and B sort of understanding these things on their own.
The problem here is when you are boxing out all of other crypto and you're only having meetings with Joseph Lubin in ETHgate and FTX in FTXgate, and everybody else is left out in the cold, you can't trust anything that they're doing. If that's how the crypto markets are being created, in secret with select people. You're picking winners and losers. You can't trust what the SEC's up to in that scenario. And that's the problem. That's the problem with the way that with this regulation by enforcement. So then Digital Perspectives put this out, and I clipped it together. First of all, this guy's way off base on XRP and Ripple, but he has an attorney on here, and listen to what the attorney says. And then I'll at the second part. This is a guy telling you what he thinks is going to happen with the Ripple case. The second part is Nick Burafedo relaying what Stuart Alderati said to him at Swell. Two different things. Listen to this.
On Twitter yesterday about what do you think's going to happen on Ripple. And I said, what I think's going to happen is everybody's going to overreact, whether it's a win or a loss, because what this judge has to say about it is really not going to be that important. There are two more layers of appeals what an appellate court says about this and eventually the Supreme Court. That's what will matter.
Hey, I want to go back and just say I used the term settlement earlier when I talked about Ripple, when I talked about Brad Billinghouse and Stuart Alderati. And look, it could be a settlement. It could be, the end of the case and the judge may settle the case. What I really mean to say is a conclusion. So I don't want anybody to read into it. Nobody told me there's a settlement. The conclusion of the case. But one of the things that Stuart said to me was he thinks when it's over, it's over. So I thought that was really cool.
On Twitter.
When it's over, it's over. And that doesn't infer going to the Supreme Court. I can tell you that. Okay. Now, this is interesting right here because Ripple, I put this out. This is from 3/20/2019. Okay. This is Gary Gensler and Hester Pierce talking. Listen to what she says.
In some cases, feeling that they're waiting for the SEC to get more clarity in this world.
I think there is some clarity there already, right? If you're doing something that's basically saying I'm trying to fund a project, i.e. a company, to build something, and I want you to give me money to do that, and I'm going to take the money and I'm going to build the project with the money you give, and you're not going to have any role in that. You're just going to earn profits if I do a good job. That's a security. That looks very much like a traditional security. And so you should expect that that's going to implicate our rules. And of course, if you raise money from people and you say, hey, I've got this great project, put up a white paper, get a lot of money, and then you go to the Caribbean with that money, leaving your investors with nothing, then obviously we're going to come after you. That's called securities fraud.
So what I said is, hey, Hester, Gary Gensler, not only did you not go after SBF in the Caribbean, remember, he created the FTT token. You were having planning sessions with him. By the way, is FTT token a security asking for 75,000 plus XRP holding friends? These people are a walking contradiction, folks. This is not, there's nothing about what these people have been doing that's right. I'm going to skip over this one. I'm going to skip Jay Clayton, just kind of makes me sick. And I wanted to show you this and then I'll go. Breaking Circle has terminated its agreement with blank check firm Concord Acquisition, thereby canceling its plans to go public. Not sure what's going on there, but that's kind of spooky. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that Circle is no longer going public.